What's up, YouTube? I think this is probably one of my greatest beats yet. Let's just get right into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more content of how I put my beats together. Leave a comment below for any other kind of genre you want to see me cover. So first thing is started off with was a piano melody using Rhodes that I got from Triton, and in fact the chords come from Graves MIDI chord selection here from its Prisms 2 in G minor. So I just did a simple chord melody here. Very little processing on it. I think I threw on a compressor so all the levels of sound the same, and EQ'd some of the lows out to make room for some bass. The next instrument I added was a pad, which follows the same chord pattern that the Rhodes were playing. Next up was a bass line. And that had very little processing as well. Some compression to just make the bass a little bit more punchy, cut through the mix, and then saturation. Next up was just a simple synth brass sound using, again, Triton. So I use Triton for all of these instruments here just to give it that clean classic sound. So here's what the synth sounds like. Following that, I think it just needed some sounds to spice it up, so I added this vocal effect that I got from Output. By itself, it sounds like this. So yeah, added some RVox from Waves on here so that the sample can cut through, the vocal sample could cut through. So last thing I added was a sweep, a simple sound effect to give it some new transitions and just another like ear candy sound. And then altogether those sound like this. Yeah, so that is the sample altogether, and then what followed shortly were the drums. So the drums for this record came from Machine. Started off with a simple clap. After the clap, I added some hi-hats to give it more rhythm. After the hi-hat pattern was a shaker. Shortly after were the kick drums. I layered 2 kick drums. At the end of every 4 bars, I added this drum fill that has a really 80s feel to it, and it goes a little something like this. Alright, and then last thing I did for the drum pattern was boosted up the sounds a little bit to make the drums come through the mix more. So my trick for that is running it through Fat Effects, turning off the limiter, turning off all the other effects here, and turning on the distortion, switching the soft saturation on and pumping it to about 25% or so, and the other ones I leave at 0%. And what that does is it helps the drums cut through the mix a little bit more stronger. Here are the drums without Fat Effects. And here are the drums with Fat Effects turned on. So very subtle difference, but the mastering channel, I lowered all of my instruments so that the maximum volume reached below 6 dB. So that's really important for music production, because you always want to have some headroom for mastering. So first thing I did was add a warmth feel to the beat. So I turned on Waves J37 tape plugin, and that just gives it a little bit more warmth sound. And then using a limiter, I added about 6 dB and set the threshold to about -1 dB so it doesn't go up over 1 dB. So what I have now is a louder track and ready to play on speakers, headphones, etc. And so here it is with effects turned off. And effects turned on. All right, and that's the beat.